1, 2.
Hello, hello.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Luke, tell me at the sounds upstairs, please. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. The crackling may just be there, but can we hear the people over the crackling? Test, test. 1, 2. Text me. 1, 2. Listen to my voice over the crackle. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test. How is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4 upstairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test, test. Listen to my voice. Text me back. Test, test, test.
Okay, we're going to get started. Can everyone rise for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, ooh, sorry, that's loud. Can we do roll call?
Pledge Reason Hurston James. Hi, Megan Levine. Ann Markoulis.
Angela Ramo.
Leah Leone.
Maureen Jimenez.
Isabel Basil.
Okay, thanks. Maria Venuto isn't here tonight. Okay, Okay, let's move on to the approval of the minutes from March 19th and March 26th. Can I get a motion? Anne and Megan? Yeah. Okay, well, it was just Lynn who was absent for both of them, so can't we just? All right, so Anne and Megan, and then all in favor? 5. And then, yeah. Committee reports. Audit committee.
Okay, so we've received our draft report for the detailed testing for human resources. That's been reviewed and sent back to the auditors and waiting for their final report. And then we are also waiting for the draft risk assessment report from the internal auditors. And the preliminary work for the external audit will start in May.
Okay, thanks. Policy committee?
The District Policy Committee met on March 18th to continue its work on several important policy initiatives. Currently, the committee is finalizing the draft of a new policy mandated by New York State regarding student member on the Board of Education. The goal is to present a first read of this policy at the first board meeting in May. In addition, the committee is in the process of updating the naming of facilities policy as well as our field trips and excursions policies. Especially those policies to ensure they align with and support the current and new learning opportunities offered to students across the district. Dr. Dushner has also recently issued communication to middle and high school communities inviting participation in a new grading policy advisory team. This team is going to work in collaboration with the policy committee to review and look at the district's grading policy, reinforcing the district's commitment to student success. And finally, the policy committee remains engaged in ongoing discussions related to anticipated guidance from the New York State Education Department. This includes proposed policies addressing extreme heat days and the use of internet-enabled devices. We're still waiting on updates from the state, but ensuring the district is prepared and responsive to when those policies are required.
We need to have another meeting in April,
Correct.
so I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it earlier, maybe.
Correct. Hoping to finalize the new meeting in April and publishing that on the website.
You want me to send an email? I can do that.
That'd be great.
Okay, I want to do it right now.
Awesome.
All right.
Education committee?
We met in the Education Committee on April 2nd, and we presented on the work of the 2 leadership retreats over the last 2 years. The retreats were formed to create an aligned instructional vision for each of the year. Our vision for the first year was on active student engagement, and our vision this past year was on critical thinking.
And facilities?
In the Landing School addition, the classroom flooring and the flooring in the hallway on the second floor are complete. The first floor should be installed this week. Cabinetry for the new classrooms will be delivered during the April break, and the fire alarm inspection for the addition is expected to be completed this week. At the middle school, the renovation of the 1910 400 wing bathrooms are in progress. Piping is now complete and the partitions were ordered. The framing will start soon, and then the sheetrock and tile work will begin. Some preliminary work is going to be done for the Phase 2 bond project at the high school during the April break, such as abatement, plumbing, and some roofing. The building management system, which allows the district to manage the temperatures throughout the buildings, is in process with a probable completion in May, and the solar panels will be installed during the April break at Landing. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next is the update on the superintendent search. We are meeting tomorrow with district-wise to review applications and finish up questions that we want to ask the candidates, and then we will be interviewing candidates. So, pretty much it. What did you say? Yeah, interviews are forthcoming. Superintendent's report.
Okay, so I can't have the superintendent's report without taking a sidestep and saying that we did have state assessments planned for yesterday. That was undone due to a statewide issue with the computer company that is supporting this system. So that was statewide, nothing that we could have control over. But we did receive information that today we could reschedule and begin the testing without a glitch. And guess what? A glitch. And so, again, statewide, oddly enough, I was in a Zoom meeting with the state ed officials when that occurred, and we knew about it before they knew about it. But I'm bringing this up to say thank you for the increase in participation. We're hoping to get some more participation before before moving ahead with the testing. We did get testing at the elementary, session 1 almost completed, and we will hold session 2 tomorrow. We will then make sure that the middle school starts their testing after the April spring break. But I want to thank students as well as staff because they took the computer glitches in stride. They were anxious to begin the test, but according to the principals and coordinators that were in the building, it was a really beautiful situation where students took it in stride, were very patient, were asking us what's up, what's going to happen next, and okay, the state made a mistake. So I think we could learn from our students as far as when faced with some dilemma, they take it in stride, they problem solve, and they worked cooperatively with staff, and staff were extremely professional, and I think lighthearted to see that the students were so accepting and understanding. And so I want to thank all that were involved, administrators as well as students and other staff in helping that move along today without any homebound glitches. And we look forward to moving forward in an appropriate manner. So thank you very much for that. Tonight, again, because our students are so widely recognized for their talents, I'd like to introduce Mr. Nadal, Lawrence Nadal, our Fine Arts Coordinator, as he recognizes students for their participation in regard to all-county music and all-county visual arts. Mr. Nadal?
Thank you.
Is it on? Okay. Lawrence, get the mic right there.
Thank you. I'm here tonight to present our wonderful and honorable students who have made the all-county visual art exhibition for the Art Supervisors Association, that's ASA for visual art, and also NMEA, Nassau Music Educator Association, which is the all-county for music. And I have the privilege of honoring and also introducing the students who have completed all-county this school year. We'll begin with visual art.
Want me to help? I'll be the Vanna White every day.
So I'd like to first welcome, if you are here, please come down and get your certificate as we recognize you for your fine achievements and your wonderful artistic participation in the county. So first off, we have Sinai Sosa. If you're here, come down. Otherwise, we'll save the certificate for you. Annabelle Solecchia. Daylene Martinez Marinero. Ariadna Camila Agreda Alvarez. Brendan Nathaniel Robinson. Gohan Stephen Alvalar Baritzueta. Mason Foster. Javin Alvarado. Jacob Macnow. Dennis Roland Veith. Georgina Rose Dondero. Nala Gomez. Phoebe Pinder. Alessandra Picarillo. Cassandra Miller. It should be noted that Cassandra Miller also receives the scholarship for the Art Supervisors Association from Glen Cove. Cassia Blackburn. Milo Walters. Gianna DiMaggio. Aileen Castaneda. Eva Lima. I'd also like to recognize, we had some wonderful faculty who came tonight to support the students in this recognition. So I'd like to recognize our faculty and have them come up for the picture as well. So I'd like to thank Ms. Palazzo, Ms. Verney, Ms. Rotundi, and Mr. Vieira. Please come down and join us. Yep, there is one student who still has to come up, and her name is Brianda Rodriguez Romero. Please join us. Now we have all of our Art Supervisor Association students who have contributed to the All-County exhibition this past April. Congratulations once again to all of those students, their families, and also their arts mentors who support them through their endeavors. We now move on to all-county music. Annabelle Seleccia, Children's Voice. Congratulations. Jason Andrus, Children's Voice. Vivian Glowinski Cave, Children's Voice. Stella Casson, Children's Voice. Lila Eschenauer, Children's Voice. Skylar Basile, Children's Voice. Xochikaima Anakwe, Children's Voice. Nachikamdi Anakwe, Children's Voice. Victoria Espin, cello. Carla Giron Ticas, clarinet. We're going to take photos with the Division I students first. Congratulations. Anthony Epifania, violin. Isabella DeLuca, vocal soprano. Amelia Costantino, vocal soprano. Matias Moreno, vocal alto. Patrick Gonzalez, vocal alto. Chizimuzo Anakwe, vocal alto. Hannah Miller, clarinet. And Sarah Lee, violin. Rose Sullivan, vocal soprano. Zikora Anakwe, vocal tenor. Anthony Dane, trombone. Gianna Gonzalez, violin. Leo Goldstein, vocal tenor. Jackson Pappas, vocal tenor. Parker Bennett, vocal tenor. Paige Jimenez, vocal soprano. Charlotte Dilgard Clark, vocal alto. Charlotte Decker, vocal alto. Josue Zavala, vocal bass. Ryan Mitchell, snare drum. Andrew Ginez, vocal bass. Anna Miller, vocal alto. Dakota Rios, vocal alto. Sofia Zapata Diaz, vocal soprano. Kaylin Bonilla, vocal alto. Heather Alvarado, vocal alto. Valentina Canales Aguilar, vocal soprano. Kai Kishulski, vocal alto. Diego Ledesma, vocal bass. Caroline Dakageva, vocal alto. Isabella Smith, vocal alto. Anthony Edwards, vocal bass. Trinity Chambers, vocal alto. Natalie Macnow, vocal alto. Alexia Santiago, vocal soprano. Aurora Siri, vocal soprano. Jeffrey Ramirez Hernandez, vocal bass. Deborah Zavala, viola. And Grace Gillian, alto sax.
Okay. And as they are packing up to go home, and some of them sitting to watch, I just want to say how proud we are of how wonderfully they represented not only their own skills, but the Glen Cove schools. We had some outstanding scores from their performances, and it was truly an honor. I know how proud parents are of their children, but I have to tell you, our teachers and administrators, it was as if they were their own children. And I have to say, I've been hearing just wonderful accolades and how proud they were of the performances. It's truly been a wonderful experience. Okay. And speaking of outstanding performances, you see behind me still remnants of this past weekend's performance. I have to say, I did sneak in to watch some of the rehearsals that were done for Chicago during the week, and they were great. But when you saw the entire play together, it was truly outstanding. I would say we were tough competitors for Broadway. So congratulations to all the staff, students, and those behind the scenes who put together two wonderful performances, one this past month at the middle school and another at the high school. Really outstanding. And that's the superintendent's report, except that now we have the best part of the report for our community's information, and that is our budget presentation by our new assistant superintendent, who doesn't seem new anymore, Teresa Cahan. Teresa? Teresa, I think you might need...
Thank you, Dr. Rihanna, and good evening. Tonight in Budget Workshop number 5, we're going to review the 25-26 tax levy formula calculation, the allowable tax levy limit, and the proposed tax levy. Then we will talk about the capital outlay projects that are included in the 25-26 budget, and we'll review the 3 components of the proposed appropriation budget. This is the formula that is used to calculate the allowable tax levy limit. I know there's a lot of focus on the 2% tax cap, and there's some confusion over why school districts can have a tax levy that exceeds that cap. The property tax cap, also known as the allowable levy growth factor, is the lower of 2% or the consumer price index, which is inflation. For the 25-26 school year, we must use the 2% in the calculation, which is highlighted in gray on the screen. As you can see, the 2% tax figure is only one small portion of the formula. The formula also takes into consideration the school district's tax base, growth factor, pilots, and allowable exclusions. The result of this calculation is the allowable tax levy limit, or the amount the school district is allowed to levy in taxes. The school district can decide to levy less than the allowable tax levy limit, which would represent the proposed tax levy. For the 25-26 school year, the allowable tax levy limit is just over $80 million, or 3.498%. However, the district has decided to levy less than the allowable limit and are proposing a tax levy increase of $79.6 million, or 2.981%. Every year, $1 million is included in the budget to complete smaller projects that need to be done around the district. For 25-26, we are proposing 3 projects. The first project is to complete the removal and replacement of asbestos-containing materials at Finley Middle School in certain areas. Second is an upgrade to the stadium lights at the high school to LED. And last is the addition of air conditioning for the high school auditorium, which totals are $1 million in projects. Moving on to the expenditure budget, we are going to briefly review the 3 components: capital, administrative, and program. First is the administrative component. From these, all of these expenses that you're going to see on the screen are summarized. So if you look at the Board of Ed number, it's really probably 10 or 12 expenses that roll up into that one number, going through all of the different codes. So you see an increase in Board of Ed because we are going to be switching over to iPads in place of signature books for the budget vote. We also see a decrease in superintendent's office, business office, and auditing, which is a result of staffing changes. Last year at this point, we were looking into whether we were required to pay for tax collection. So the amount in the budget for that was removed. However, this is a charge that we do need to pay, so the amount has been added back for next year. The Office of Personnel has increased due to the fees that we have to pay for Civil Service Administration and for use of the absence management system through BOCES. Records management has also increased due to the use of BOCES for residency investigations. There we go. There is an increase in public information due to an increased cost of printing and mailing. And our unallocated insurance, which covers all the insurances for cars, for the buildings, for every item that you can think of for insurance, has been estimated to be about a 20% increase due to the overall increases in claims. The decrease you see here in supervision of regular school is due to staffing changes. And that is the end of our administrative component, which results in a total administrative proposed expenditure budget of $8.9 million. Moving on to the capital component, this is one slide for capital. You can see that there's a large increase in operation of plant. There's a few reasons for that. One is the addition of additional staffing needed for the Daisy and Landing additions that will be opening soon. And there's also a large increase in the cost of supplies and funds needs for repairs throughout the district. The other item that you see with a large increase is our BAN, which is the bond anticipation notes. Now, we had a bond that was passed in 2022, but since projects didn't start right away, we would start with BANs, which means that we only had to borrow what we needed at that time. Next year, because we have a lot of projects that are going to be happening this summer, we need to borrow a little bit larger amount on the BAN, which is why they have that increase. And that is the total capital component of about $11.5 million. Next is the program component, which is the largest component of the budget. The decrease you see in teaching regular school is due to staffing increases. Not a reduction in staff, but due to retirements, all of which will be replaced. The increase in teaching special education is due to the increase of cost of meeting the needs of those students. The increase in computer-assisted instruction is the addition of another technician to assist in the greater demand for repairs of our one-to-one devices. The decrease in attendance is due to staffing changes. And the increase to health services includes funds for an annual inspection of our AED devices and the supplies needed for those devices. We will have some additional devices installed in the next month or so. The increases that you see here are just normal contractual increases. There's nothing particular to note. Contract transportation. So we are expecting an increase of about 7% overall for the cost of transporting students to our schools, private and parochial schools, and our special education schools. We have workmen's compensation and unemployment that both have increased due to what we have actually been spending in those expenses. There are slight increases with the employees' retirement system and the teachers' retirement system, which is the percentage that we have to pay on the salaries that are earned within the school year. Our medical insurance expenses continue to go up, which is represented by the increase you see here. And then we have our total program component of $97.7 million. And this is a summary of the proposed appropriation budget. The 8.9 in administrative, 11.5 in capital, 97.7 in program, for a total of $118,123,184,000. Now, at the last budget meeting, we spoke about our budget gap. It was about $1.5 million gap. By using reserves that we have on hand, our employees' retirement system, our teachers' retirement system, and our employee benefits reserve, we are filling that gap. As of today, we have not received the governor's final budget or our final state aid figures. The last that we were told was that there would be something out on Monday. We have not heard anything, except they're going to reconvene without a date of when we might have the numbers. So until that point, we will be filling this gap with those reserves. If we get an increase in our state aid, we can reduce the amount of reserves that we are using. So some budget information. If you feel like watching this presentation again, or you want to see the PowerPoint, it's all on the website. There are two ways that you can find it, either following the first 3 steps from District, Board of Ed to Budget Information, or at the top of the page, Find It Fast. We'll take you right there. Our budget vote is on May 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. And we have the proposition number 1, which is the vote on the annual budget for the Glen Cove City School District for the 25-26 school year. And that is the presentation. I will take any questions if there are any from the board.
Thank you. Megan?
More of a comment, I guess, is just on the capital outlay,
Yes.
if I can get to it, which, so just sort of a note, because the line that's the $315,000 for the upgrade of the stadium lights is not, as we've discussed, purely cosmetic. It's that, if you could, like, if there's more to explain, that essentially how they are constructed now and wired is a fire hazard. If
Right.
they
Right now-
are turned on to their full capacity.
Right, right now, if they're on at full capacity, all lights on, it is a fire hazard. So currently, they're only turned on, about half of them are turned on to avoid that issue.
Right.
By upgrading to LED, that will stop that issue. And
That'll
we'll be able to
resolve that
use them to full
safely.
capacity.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Teresa, thank you so much. And that is the, well, actually, I have one more piece. So this is Autism Awareness Month. And with that is the understanding that we have students and adults in our community that, again, are very, very important people for us, whether they are our children, our students, our neighbors, our community members. And so at this point, in each of the buildings, there has been a celebration and a autism awareness. At the middle school, the students came together because they felt the best way to do that would be not only to have a week full of activities, but also bring out the commercial. And so, Chris?
What are we going to talk about? What do you feel when you are included? Lovely. Excited.
And so please, if you'd like to see this commercial break again, please feel free to go on our website. But I think the teacher responsible for all of this, helping our students create this wonderful commercial, is in our audience, and I'd like to just give her a hand. And thank you all, administrators, teachers. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, next one. Okay. It actually has its own part of the, student report. Yes.
Okay, Isabel,
I'm
you're up.
getting pulled off no, it's okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. What an exciting time it is for our school community. As of last Friday, April 4th, the quarter has officially ended, and that means we are now in the final marking period of the year. It's hard to believe how quickly the year has gone, but there is still so much to look forward to before summer. For starters, our group of 70 students is gearing up for an unforgettable trip to Spain this Saturday. I'm sure many of them are at home right now packing. It's going to be an unforgettable experience, and we're all so excited to explore a new culture, make lasting memories, and have an incredible time. In other exciting news, the high school's school production of Chicago was amazing. The cast and crew gave an outstanding performance, and it was clear how much hard work and dedication went into bringing the show to life. It's a performance that will be remembered for years to come. This past Saturday, we had a very special ceremony before the boys' varsity baseball game against Oyster Bay, where the field was officially dedicated to the former coach and community member, John Delecki. It was such a touching moment for everyone involved, and it was made even more memorable by our team securing the win afterwards. On a related note, we are now officially in the final season of high school sports for our seniors. It's such a bittersweet moment, and we encourage everyone to check out the senior spotlight photos on the school website or our Instagram. As we move closer to May, AP exam review classes have officially begun, and students who want to succeed on their exams are strongly encouraged to attend these review sessions. These classes are the perfect opportunity to fine-tune your knowledge and walk into the exam feeling prepared and confident. And speaking of May, National Commitment Day is just around the corner on May 1st. Many of our seniors have already made their college decisions, and it's so exciting to see. Seniors must inform the guidance office of their college commitments by May 1st because all college decisions and future plans will be proudly displayed on the hallway wall for everyone to see. Finally, we're looking forward to a special senior celebration on May 22nd between 3rd and 8th period. Seniors are encouraged to wear apparel representing their college, military, or future plans and join us in the lobby for photos and snacks. It'll be a fun and meaningful way to celebrate the next chapter in all of our lives. Thank you.
Isabel, did you commit already?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll make a fantastic decision. Okay.
Okay, next is our first public participation. Please try to keep it to about 3 minutes. Agenda items only.
Anna, she's gonna leave. Okay.
Thank you. We'll see you later. Have a great vacation.
Mr. Hudson, do you have to go pack too?
Any takers for? Okay. So we will move on to the instructional report.
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 7 on the instructional report, A, Committee on Special Education, and B, Committee on Preschool Special Education.
Can I get a motion? Megan and Ann? Any questions? All in favor? 6. Business fair, sorry.
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 8B, Operations, number 1 through 12.
Okay, can I get a motion? Maureen and Leah. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? 6. Sorry, we have a new system, so it's a little getting used to it. We had a donation. I'd like to thank Rosemary Ventura for a donation of office supplies. Okay, personnel.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9A, numbers 1 through 4.
Can I get a motion? Anne and Lynn, any questions? All in favor? 6.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9B, numbers 1 through 3.
Can I get a motion? Leah and Maureen, any questions? Okay, all in favor? 6.
So I went through this once before, and I'm now going through it again. So tonight, you accepted the retirement of Christina Martin. And just so that you're aware, Christina Martin, as you may be aware, has been a secretary in this district for a number of years. She started out in special education and moved to district office. If you ever saw the show Suits, where the secretary anticipates the boss's step before he even knows he's taking it, and her name is Donna on the show. We have Donna in my office. Before I can say, could you, she already has it done. But she is also an integral part of the Glen Cove community, so we thank her for her service.
Okay, any unfinished business? Nope. New business? Board comments? Leah?
I just want to wish all the students going to Spain a fabulous trip, the middle schoolers and the high schoolers. And thank you to all the staff who are taking our kids on this trip. Thank you to all of you.
Very exciting.
Anyone? Megan?
Last week, I was happy to make it over to Gribben School to watch the Maskers do a theater workshop with the Gribben students. I know it also happened at Daisy, and it was a very inclusive program. It was so fun to watch. Everyone had a great time, and then my understanding is the students are coming to the high school, I guess, on Friday to see the performance, and it was like teaching them, like like call and response and different pieces of being in theater. It was really adorable and really great to see, and it's something that was nice to see in person, because I always, when you see on social media or you hear about it, all the programs that we have in this district where you have schools, sister schools and other schools working together and bringing, whether it's athletes helping athletes, or we have, middle school readers helping at the elementaries. It's so great to see the students commit themselves to each other and show their commitment to other students, to the school community. It was really great to see that in action, and it's one of my favorite features of this district, is how much that is encouraged. And then on top of that, of course, Chicago was great. The Addams family was really great at the middle school also. And we approved a field trip for DECA to go to the International Championship in Orlando, I think later in April. So congratulations and good luck to them.
Yeah. The Addams family and Chicago were fantastic. I am always blown away at how good those kids are, and it's incredible. And I hope the kids going to Spain have a great trip, that they're safe, and I hope everyone else has a great spring break. And anyone else have any? Okay. So then we'll move on to our final public participation, about 3 minutes. Anything but no students or personnel, and, yeah, okay.
Hi, my name is Marissa Damiano. My address is 136 Woolsey Avenue. I'm here because I was born and raised in Glen Cove. I have 4 children in the district, and I am also an educator of 23 years with certifications in general education, literacy, and special education. So I'm here to discuss my concerns, and I wrote this down because I know what I want to say, but I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. Also, it's a little over 3 minutes, so I hope that's okay. So I'm here to discuss my concerns with the current reading curriculum and how it specifically impacts struggling readers, as well as special education and English language learners within our district. First, I'd like to thank the district for its work in revamping the Advancing Literacy Phonics instruction by embedding other resources to help meet the needs of our students. However, with that being said, I strongly feel that struggling readers and special ed students need a multisensory, research-based phonics program that delivers clear, explicit phonics instruction. So there are 3 tiers of intervention. Tier 1 are those students that are in the gen ed class that might be struggling in reading and are slightly below grade level. And so they're doing the current phonics curriculum or reading curriculum, right? But then the teacher pulls them in a small group based on their needs. Now, they need other resources to help them meet the needs of those students. That's in the classroom. Outside of the classroom, which is Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions, those are students who leave the classroom to get reading support from reading teachers. The reading teachers should not be using the same program that is being used in the classroom. So those students, and they also shouldn't be working out of phonics modules. Maybe a consideration would be the phonics modules be used in the classroom by the classroom teacher, helping those Tier 1 students. Reading teachers should be Wilson trained and or Orton Gillingham trained. They should have a plethora of programs to choose from based on the student's needs. Some examples would be Foundations for the lower grades, Wilson, which can start as young as 2nd grade, UFly, or an Orton Gillingham program that targets their individual and small group needs. Furthermore, a struggling reader might not just need phonics instruction. Other students struggle with comprehension, therefore, they should be receiving leveled literacy intervention support. Just because we've made a shift in education to the science of reading doesn't mean we take old practices and throw them away. Teaching reading is a balance of systematic and explicit instruction in foundational literacy skills, including phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, as well as reading instruction, which includes whole language and comprehension strategies through read aloud, shared reading, guided reading, and independent reading. Now, I know the district also uses Hegarty, but Hegarty only focuses on phonemic awareness, which is only one component of phonics instruction. Now we move on to our students who are above a Tier 3 intervention, right? So those are our students who are in a self-contained class who definitely should not be doing the same phonics curriculum that's happening in the gen ed class. Those students learn differently, and there's a reason why they're in those classes. They need a specific program that is multisensory, clear, explicit, and follows a systematic approach to teaching phonics instruction. They should not be doing the district's current program and then supplement with other resources. They have different needs than the gen ed population. Therefore, they should be taught differently. If they could do the work that was done in the gen ed class, then they wouldn't be in a self-contained class. Again, I want to make it clear that I'm not putting the district down in the work it has done. I'm just simply stating that other programs and resources for our struggling readers and special education students need to be implementing. What we're currently doing is not enough. And good practice as educators is always to reflect upon your work and see how you can make it more effective. I've been teaching 23 years, and every year I learn something new. There is no one size fits all, especially when a district is so diverse with English language learners and more students who have special education needs. I hope that the board and administrators can find programs that are research-based and are proven to be effective for this population, and they should not be supplemental, depending upon the needs of the students. It should be determined by what the teacher feels is best practice for these students based on the resources they have. You hired these teachers, and in my experience, having 4 kids in this district, 2 at the high school, 1 at Landing and 1 at Daisy, all of these teachers have been exceptional. I've been nothing but happy. You should have trust in your teachers that they know what is best for their students. They're the ones that are with them day in and day out. So as you can see, I really feel strongly about this, and for many reasons, including that I am an educator, and I know what reading instruction can be like because I work in a district where I am supported, and I'm given many resources to help meet the needs of my students. I'm very lucky. I support and care about Glen Cove schools because, like I mentioned earlier, I was born and raised here, and I went through the system myself. And I want nothing more than to support our district. I'm also advocating for others who don't realize because they're not educators, or they have language barriers and they don't understand. They trust that the district is doing right by our kids. And finally, my main concern is that I care for all the students, including my own, and I want nothing but the best education for them. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm only one voice, but I truly hope that I can make a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Damiano. Your points are well taken, and I'm sure that you will see we are looking at different resources so that teachers have that plethora of choice as they work with our students. And thank you for your support.
Couple of things. Janet Blatt.
Janet, you're going to the wrong one. Okay. Thank you.
I'm
It's
more
okay.
than half asleep. Janet Blatt, 31 McGrady Street, Glen Cove, New York. First thing, the posting on the main site about the board's meeting tomorrow night is posted as a work session. On that spot on the website, it does not say executive session, which I assume it is because you're meeting with the search company. It needs to be posted accurately, please. Maybe nobody but me looks at that. But if a few people did, and they were just curious and wanted to come to that meeting, which if it wasn't an executive session would be open to everybody, they would come. It would be wasting their time. Please do what the open meeting regulations require. please make sure that when you give something to whomever puts it on the website, that it is posted accurately. It does say under your information about the superintendent's search that you're meeting with the search company. But it does not then say executive session. It has to say executive session or people are welcome. And then they get there and they get upset. Second thing, 3 weeks ago at the board meeting, I asked about how many districts had attended the meeting that our superintendent attended having to do with the reorganization.
Regionalization.
And there are only, in Nassau County, of 56 school districts, or at least that's what the internet says are in Nassau County. Of 56 districts, only 11 countywide are part of that. All the rest, you can say it's not opt out or opt in. They, on wherever I read, are saying they opted out. So there are 11. If the information on the internet is correct, there's only one district in all of Suffolk County in the same position that Glen Cove is in. Of the 11 in Nassau County, all of which are now part of one group, 2 of them, Glen Cove and Westbury, are on this side of the island. All the rest are what would be considered South Shore. So in regard to the possibility of savings on bus transportation, which I've tried to get answers to and I have not yet gotten anything that satisfies me, the chances of having any savings are slight. Different bus companies are used. The bus companies usually serve people, districts that they are closer to in terms of where their buses are parked overnight. Companies are not going to give great deals to come over to the North Shore to pick up kids to take them to special ed programs outside of the district. Westbury and Glen Cove do not use the same bus company for in-district transportation. So the possibility of a deal that would save us money with our district and that district combining are just about none right now. So again, and I don't expect an answer. My question though is, what is it that you're really doing? I mean, you seem to have said 3 weeks ago and before that, that the reason to be a part of this, to have not opted out, is to save money. Now, there are possibilities that you might save money on items ordered, and maybe some of the 11 would combine. The fewer of those 11 that combine, the less the discounted price that we would be paying would work out in our favor. There was, from what I remember, and I don't know what districts were working together, but I remember Victoria mentioning at various times that different things had been ordered in combination with other districts. So if there are so few as to have only 11 of 56 districts in Nassau County as part of this section, and we were able to negotiate with other districts and then with companies that the districts were ordering from, I do not see any great value. You may truly believe, I do not believe, been around too long, seen too much, that the State Department of Education did this out of the generosity of their hearts to save school districts money. I truly believe that this was an attempt. It has failed so far, with only so few districts involved. But their attempt is to take over and to control local school districts. Completely if they could, but certainly much more than they are able to do now. You need to start looking at the total picture. You need to understand what could be saved without being part of this BOCES superintendent's supervision of the 11. It does not appear to me to have any positive aspect in it for the people of Glen Cove or any other district at all. It just needs to be looked at more.
Okay. So about the transportation, that was one example. There were a number of districts upstate in particular that transportation is a huge issue, and that was one of the things that regionalization has been really great for those districts. So that's something that we've struggled with that we just used as an example. Busing is always an issue, so that was an example. I see it as us keeping our options open. We haven't decided, no, we're not doing anything. If something comes to us, we are willing to look at it, see the benefits for us, the benefits for another district, and that's all it is. We're not committing to anything. We're just leaving the option open. And Maria, would you like to add?
So please understand, though, when we think of transportation, we think of children that are going to Daisy, Landing, high school, middle school. Okay. And what is not always understood by the community at large is that we have children that are in shelters or temporary housing that go to programs that are either private or at BOCES, special schools for special needs. And so the transportation is not always how to get from Glen Cove to another place, but how to get from a place on Long Island to another school. And so I agree with you, and I think we've discussed that although transportation as a whole is just one of the many considerations that we will look into, there are a number of other options that we could discuss that we have not yet discussed, but that options may become available in the future, and that as part of this consortium, we would be on the front lines being able to make a determination as to whether it is or isn't beneficial. And I say that not always as cost savings, but beneficial for Glen Cove, bringing additional opportunities perhaps to our students. I say this because in the 12 years that I've been here, boards of education and community, past and present, has always asked to enhance opportunities, but be also financially prudent and aware of what the options are. And I think through this process, whether we call it regionalization or just looking at options, and please understand that just because we are part of the regionalization group right now, it does not hinder us from joining other districts in other opportunities that might come our way. And we've already done that with neighboring districts on in certain situations. So I think that it is wise for the board to support these opportunities, to continue to ask the superintendent to look at options that may benefit us, that we may not even be aware of at this point in time.
So I just have one more thing. The district where I grew up participated in a version of this. And we had a very small district, and the neighboring districts were also small. They could not support the number of AP courses in their high school, so my school had AP Spanish, biology, chemistry. Another school had a few other AP courses, so kids were able to go to the different schools to take the AP courses that they wanted to. So for a small area, kids had access to many more classes than the limited number one school was able to provide. So that might be something that we could look at neighboring the courses offered that might be offered to our kids too. It's just, we're not sure what kind of opportunities could be coming.
Can I say something to that? You do not need the plan that the state has tried to put in place to try to share AP classes with districts that are closer even than Westbury, which is the closest of the 11. The others, transporting kids to the other 9, would be absurd as far as I'm concerned. But if you could get, if the other districts felt that we had something that some of their kids wanted, and they had something that some of our kids wanted, you do not need BOCES to organize that. That kind of sharing in various places in this country has been going on for years. It is the stepping into district business where I do not believe any district should want the state to be stepping in that I stand opposed to. I understand where you're standing, but I do not believe that it's wise thinking. I do not think that the opportunities aren't out there with districts working together without
Okay,
the
but
state
we ultimately
imposing
have the
BOCES
say as to
on
whether we
us.
do it or not. So it's,
And it seems to me that other districts have taken a look at this, in great numbers other districts.
we've
and
looked
have
at it as
come-
well, and this was our decision.
Okay, let's remember
I
what the
know
rules
it's your
are for
decision.
public
What I'm saying again
participation.
is that it's a
Let's
bad
remember
decision.
what the rules are for public participation. We are not doing the back and forth. It's 3 minutes. Thank you for your comment.
Anyone else have any comments? Okay, then it looks like we're going to wrap up. Can I get a, what? Motion? Okay, Leah and Maureen. Everyone vote? All right, 6, thank you. Everyone have a good night, have a safe break, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.